How's it going, everybody? I'm Nick Major, your APTV Los Angeles correspondent, and sitting next to me is the unmistakable Jason Aalon Butler. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you, man. Thanks, Nick.
Of course. And tonight you're playing a sold-out show at the Glass House, and as you've said before, you have played this venue before,
yes,
but not as a headliner.
It's actually kind of funny, the difference in this, or I guess like a sort of a dichotomy, because not only have we never played as a headliner, but I don't think we've ever played as anything further than first of whatever slot on the bill. So yeah, I think it's quite incredible, and it's like that much cooler because we used to come to shows here, and I remember I actually saw Poison the Well here, and it was like Poison the Well with I don't remember, but anyway, I was on their DVD and it was filmed here, and I was like crowd surfing super hard, and now we're playing a show here that's being filmed by our friend Nick, actually.
And the kind of harder music scene, like the hardcore scene,
Yeah.
there's always this kind of mindset of not wanting to sell out, or not wanting to play bigger productions, or not wanting to have an overly polished album.
Right.
And how have your views towards that kind of stuff changed as you've matured as a musician over the last decade?
I don't think the views themselves, I guess, fundamentally have changed, because I've always felt the same way. I feel like music should be as accessible as a form as possible, or at least I would like our music to be as accessible as possible. But what has changed is my sort of allowing myself to be honest about that, and and my candid nature in telling people, yeah, like I don't fear selling out, because I don't ever think I would continue to be in this band, Let Live, if I was ever not being authentic or not being honest. So my fear is never to do something that is not true to self and or the band. And diminishing those fears has kind of made this all much easier to kind of grapple, because we're still, I think, just exactly the same mentally as we were when we wrote those records before. Mm-hmm. And if more people listen to them, then we're just lucky, really, just grateful. Yeah.
Would you guys ever consider going into the studio with like a bigger name producer and putting out more of like a highly produced album than what you guys have done?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I think it would actually be quite interesting and cool, because we've been known to be the aforementioned band sonically. I think that it'd be quite interesting to see what would happen if we went with a bigger producer and went with a bigger sound, with in the vein of Let Live, with a Let Live signature on it. I think it might be kind of cool. Yeah, I'm not afraid of that, especially because a lot of the music I listen to and love and adore and appreciate is made by well-known producers and artists. So again, it's a matter of being true to sound, true to yourself, and also just like, I guess, understanding that music has an innate, or it should at least have this inborn quality that is organic. And when you start to compromise that, sure. And if you feel you're compromising it, then sure. Then maybe you can be labeled as the infamous sellout. But, I feel like that's also perception and very subjective. I don't think I'd ever put myself in a situation where I felt I've compromised who I am as an artist or as a person. I'm
sure you've heard once or twice about how crazy you were on stage and all that. But the other thing is, I've noticed that you are a phenomenal actor in your music videos.
Oh, thank you.
And did you ever consider acting? Because I know under that beard, you've got quite a beautiful face.
Actually, to be quite honest, yeah, I certainly have. I think it's a quite beautiful how people can represent, again, an art such as film or acting or theater, and kind of play those roles and exist as maybe someone or something else, play out an idea and enjoy it, and really invest in something outside of themselves. I think that's a pretty, I think it's a special thing, and I definitely have thought about it. I went to one audition once for this HBO series, because Mark Wahlberg produced it. And I love Mark Wahlberg, and yeah. And one of my best friends that I grew up with, who actually put out the first two Let Live records, is a fairly accomplished manager now, and he told me that they needed a half black kid from a disenfranchised area. He was like, that's you. Yeah, they were for me. Yeah, and I went in, did it, and then I ended up leaving for tour on the callback. So I never. Yeah.
We could have been watching Jason on an HBO series, but music came calling.
Yeah, it did, and then I got to do music videos. So my 15 minutes of fame have been summed up in about 9 minutes in those 3. How many videos do you have?
Almost 15 minutes
12.
of fame in his 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, about 12 minutes. Yeah, 4 videos we have now, right? Yeah, 12 minutes.
Did you have fun doing those videos? Did you always love it when
I love it, man. I do, and it's cool because in music videos, you have a choice. You can leave that realm when it's when you cut, or you can just stay in that realm the whole time and just exist. And and I truly, this is not to be no humor attached to it. I actually can sympathize and commiserate with the late great Heath Ledger, because I felt pretty insane after just a music video, like younger. I felt like kind of crazy, and he did it for months. Yeah. So, yeah, I get it.
So you really kind of envelop yourself in that character.
Yeah, because I feel like also if you can find a piece of that character within yourself, then you can represent it, or you can honor that character. And I think, I mean, I'm not gonna apprehend and kidnap people and put weird ash on their face, but I think I might dance around a little bit and have some fun when I get senile.
You always seemed a little iffy about if love could come your way or not.
Yes. Yeah.
But it seems like maybe tables have turned on that a little
They
bit.
have.
And so you do have a significant other.
I do.
And
Yes.
how has that changed your opinion of, if not everything, just your opinion of how you originally felt about love, how you originally felt about yourself being lovable?
Certainly, yeah. It's trumped it. It's eclipsed it. And I think because I was so unsure of it, and I was rather misgiven, I was very apprehensive, and I definitely made it a point to keep myself from investing. Mm-hmm. Like I intentionally went out of my way to keep myself safe emotionally. Because of all that, I think that if something was strong enough, then it would change me, and something was and is and will continue to be strong enough to keep me quite invested in the idea of being in love. And I do love her very much, so much so that I've learned things about myself that used to scare me because of her, and I've been able to handle and tackle those things because of her, because of this thing that is love, and whatever that involves and sort of encapsulates in a relationship. We've found ways to kind of go beyond that, and I feel like this idea of love is almost trite now when you see it in movies and when you read it in books, or when you you see that those 4 letters in sequence. I think love is inexplicable and inimitable, and I am shocked every day that I wake up, even if I'm not with her, that I can be and feel the way I do about someone the way I do.
You never thought you were capable of
Seriously,
stuff you maybe didn't even know existed, really. But
truly.
But now you're experiencing it, and
I am, yeah, and I feel like I'm growing every day, and there's no sense of I'm not stifled anymore, and I'm not scared. I'm not worried about what might happen to me, because I have someone now that will honor me and will be there whether I do or do not, whatever happens.
And
It's unconditional.
And I see you smiling over here as you talk about it. Yeah. So is it, in reality, is it kind of one of the best things that's happened to you, do you think? Being able to find out that you are capable of love.
Yeah, one of them for sure. I think that this is in its own realm. My mother, I called my mother and told my mom. I've never told my mom I loved anyone, ever. And I'm 28 years old. I never said it when I was a kid. I never said it when I was in high school. And I never said I loved anyone. And I called my mother in Scotland and told her that I would be moving in with my now girlfriend, and I'm in love with her. And my mom started crying. My mom started crying on the phone. That's kind of a testament to the one other woman in my life that I can share love with. And one of the only women I've really, really shared love with on an unconditional level is my mother. And the fact that she can see how, I guess, how much of a milestone that is for me in my life is, I don't know, it's pretty incredible. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, something that she knows that you had never really been part of before.
Yeah,
so she knows it's serious when you actually call her and you do that.
Yeah.
And about your mother, it seems like you are extremely close with her.
Yes.
It seems like she's obviously a pivotal role in your life. And every time I've seen you play live, you never hold back from getting emotional when you talk about her, and especially one of your most recognizable songs that the fans always love is Mother. And what is it about this relationship you guys have that has just captured you so much and captivated you emotionally?
My mother showed me what it is to be a human being. My mother has exhibited the most humanistic as well as the most, the most godlike qualities, or goddess-like qualities. I'm not here to deify my mother or lionize her, or negate her. I'm here to discuss my mother as one of the most powerful, as well as one of the most fragile people I've ever met in my life, and I find her duality to be the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed in my life. And it took me a lot of my own getting over my own indiscretion, and trials, and realizing that whatever happened throughout our lives, whether I agreed or didn't agree, my mother never, ever, ever once did anything where she didn't love me. And I have to understand that and recognize that. And she is a cornerstone for me. My mother is an example for women. I think that's also why I'm so in love with my now girlfriend, is because she reminds me of my mother. And I've always heard that, like a lot of men will be attracted to women that remind them of their mothers, and now I'm seeing it. And my mother is, I don't know, my mom is incredible. And I know everyone says, I love my mom, but I think me and my mother, because of our hardship and because of the things that we've experienced together, that would most often, I think, break a relationship and maybe have people become estranged. It only brought us closer. And I love her, and her and my sister are like the two women in my life that have always been certain, always. We just got we got nominated for those AP awards, and
Vote Let Live.
and my mother called me again, elated, ecstatic, from Scotland, and said, I want to fly out there and be with you. I was like, Mom, I don't know if we're gonna win. She's like, I don't care, I just want to be there. And it goes to show that everything that happens in my life that may be significant, or again some sort of accolade or accomplishment, my mother not only wants to be included, but I want to include my mother. So we will be in attendance at that awards show, my mother, myself, and my girlfriend.
You guys got the next few busy months. You're gonna be going over to Europe for a little bit.
Yeah. We go over to Europe for festival season and some one-off shows, and then we return to home indefinitely, actually, to begin writing for a new record.
Man, you guys hear that? New album. Yeah. There was a bit of a gap between Fake History and Black's Beautiful, but I mean, I never heard people complain about that, and I'm gonna say it's because of your live performances. Everybody's just so stoked to see you live that they're just like, oh, we don't need a CD yet. I just gotta go watch Jason put a garbage on his head. But as your fan base has grown, has it motivated you to come out with music quicker, or? Yeah,
I think it's had the converse effect. I think that we can take time away from music, I guess, in a live setting to create, and I think that we can be take as much time as it will to make a record that people will appreciate, and again, get a record that they deserve, because they've been through so much shit with us that now it's like it's our offering, it's our thank you, it's our sense of, it's our way of it's a connection, I guess, and in order to create the strongest connection, you have to think. And we want it to come as naturally as possible, so we think that just letting ourselves be free of all inhibitions that might kind of seep into what it is we're doing when we're on the road, we're just going to go home and write and see what happens. Yeah,
that's good. And another thing I noticed that's amazing with your fan base and being able to connect with them is is just the ability of word of mouth. Yeah. With this band, I have never seen a band to where literally every concert venue I go into, I see a Let Live logo, or down the alleyways, or on a billboard, or on money. It's just, and like when I think, like, that's how I found out about you guys, was word of mouth. Yeah. So how does it feel to have what I think is seriously one of the most not obsessed, but one of the most willing fan bases to help get the name out about you guys, to share, listen to Let Live? How does that feel? Is that just insane?
Yeah, it feels like there's, words like amazing, incredible, unparalleled, things like that, and those don't even cut it, man. Like, to think that there are people out there, like yourself, actually, like when we met, there are people out there that want to engage themselves and invest themselves in what we're doing make me realize that it's not just what we're doing anymore. It's what we all, not just what Let Live the band, but what we as Let Live are doing. Let Live is much more to me than a band, and that's not to self-aggrandize or to self-proclaim. That's truly how I feel, and I feel as though we are just so privileged. Every person I meet, I'm like, I am obliged. I do understand that there are things for certain bands especially, and may in fact happen for this band if we become a larger act. You know, things happen where it does become a little more difficult for you to, I guess, carry on as a typical, or your day to day may change and may have to be tailored in order to maintain some sort of sanity. I understand that for most people, but the way I see it, again, I just feel lucky. I just feel so lucky that I have to say thank you as opposed to stray away from it. And sometimes, like sometimes I have to run to sound check and I can't stop and be there for maybe a coffee, or or discuss things about like world affairs or whatever. But trust me, like I always want to, like I really want to, and I mean that. Like there's no reason, like there's absolutely no reason for me to lie about anything. Like why? There's no reason for me to lie about who I am. There's no reason for me to lie about what I'm doing this music for, and there's no reason for me to lie about how I feel about everyone. You, the lovely lady behind the camera, and every amazing person that we get to meet. Like I say it all the time, but I've seen how bad it can get, and just waking up is a gift, and then everything else following is like cherries and sprinkles and icing on cake. You know what I mean? And I just want to say thank you to everybody for being that icing and sprinkles on my cake. Like that shit is just so cool.
You're the foundation of the cake. You're the cake, and we're all the frosting and all the good stuff.
No. Y'all are the pretty part.
Nah, you're the pretty part. But, dude, thanks so much for being such an awesome guy and chatting with us. And now you've got a sold-out show to play at the venue you grew up going to.
Crazy.
So congrats on that. And we look forward to hearing all the new stuff. I'm excited because, I mean, you never keep it boring. Black is Beautiful had a lot of new stuff that I couldn't wait to hear. And but best of luck out there again, everybody. Jason Aalon Butler of Let Live. Fantastic time talking to you.
Thank you, brother. For real.
Yes, of course. And I'm once again Nick Major, your APTV Los Angeles correspondent. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.
With those books, with that screen that you pushed in front of me, I know, then I